1997. Remember.
To remember is to recall to mind again.
Remember 1997.
Do you remember?
And do you remember, in 1997, the heartbeat of Christian service pulsed once again.
It was when the Lord called Pastor Conrad Henete to proclaim Christ in the village of Signal Itakig. From there, the Lord showed who He is and how His power is above all.
When Pastor Conrad followed God's leading, it wasn't an easy task. It took much prayers, tears, and sweat. Much labor was needed. Yet the fruits of it were sweet and very beneficial to the growth of the church. The mission work saw her first converts and first baptism candidates in just a short amount of time. Evangelistic efforts were also on fire as Temple Bible Baptist Mission started to reach out to the lost. The Great Commission was truly in practice. Soon after, the mission's growth couldn't be contained anymore. The work grew not only in faith but also in number. A new location for worship was necessary, and the Lord was working in the midst of the congregation.
The Lord leading was a grueling task. Construction filled the church's schedule. With this, also followed financial commitments. The members were challenged spiritually as well as financially. The Lord used this as a refining fire as He continued to purge the church. In May 19, 2000, the mission work transitioned to a full-fledged church. Her first sight as the body of Christ was evangelism. The church also worked on the spiritual growth of her members.
Henry Martin once said, "The Spirit of Christ is the spirit of missions. The nearer we get to Him, the more intensely missionary we become." The church exemplified this spirit when she, last 2007, gave birth to a mission work. God called Pastor Joel de Assis to Bagong Bayan, and it was met with a bittersweet sending out. Though Pastor Joel was well loved by the church, the call to sow the precious seed was much more important than anything
In time, the Lord had other plans for this first daughter of Temple Bible Baptist Church. From Bagong Bayan, the then now church is now situated in central Bikutan. The growth has been noticeable. It may be a farewell, but it gave birth to new fellowships.
Then, in 2011, the Lord posed a daunting challenge ahead, a better sanctuary through adding another level in the building. This, obviously, required sacrifices which the congregation wholeheartedly took part. Some gave their time, some gave their finances, while some gave their abilities. It took months of much labor and commitment until August of 2012. The challenge was met with faith, and just like Caleb, the mountain soon became a testimony of God's hand and provision.
Six years after the first missionary, the Macedonian call was heard again. This time, it was in Bungalon in Labrador, Pangasinan. Pastor Edo Pastrana led the work, sided by Pastor Aldri and Brother Danny Palikpik. An evangelistic effort was planned and executed in the summer of 2013. Hundreds of souls were saved through this joint effort between Temple BBC Signal and Temple BBC Bagong Bayan. As of now, the church continues to thrive in the ministry. War lives are now being changed through the power of gospel.
It soon became evident that our church has the capability not only to send out missions, but also to support other missions. We had experience participating in round-robin missions conferences, as well as accommodated missionaries who visit us on short notice. In 2015, we held our very own mission conference. We invited speakers and supported other mission works. It was repeated next year with similar results, a blaze for mission works.
Alongside the growth of the church's drive for missions was the tightening of the bond of Temple BBC family. Camp 2015 and 2016 was held in Tagaytay, where God moved in His wondrous ways to strengthen the church's love for each other. Also, year-end fellowships took a notch higher than the usual fellowship. Members got to know each other better and opened a deeper relationship towards each other. Revivals were also very beneficial to the church, as Christ said, "As many as I love, I chasten." there are times when the church really need painful pills to swallow, as God rebukes the hearts of the members through the sermons preached.
In Jesus' power, preach Christ to the lost. For Jesus' glory, count all else but loss. Gather from every place trophies of sovereign grace. Lest life be wasted, exalt Jesus' cross. As 2017, our sovereign God once again led His people to go intentionally for the sake of His name. Once again, the Lord used Pastor Conrad to start a mission work in General Trias, Cavite. It was a fulfillment of a dream when he once said, Pastor Conrad was sent out once again by Pastor Matios. Soon after, various preparations were made for the inauguration. A special vacation Bible school for kids, as well as evangelistic basketball program came into process. At the end of it, a final evangelistic night was held for the inauguration itself.
Going back to the home base, the church continued to reach the lost, wage war with the devil, and strengthen each other in faith. Soul-winning efforts, as well as evangelistic cantatas, continued on. Also, Vacation Bible School every summer became beneficial to the teachers and the students. Moreover, the Temple BBC Chorale also paved the way for the choir to minister to daughter churches as well as train their voices for God's glory. Anniversaries mark God's goodness on the church, as each celebration is carefully planned. Last 2018, Temple BBC had the grandest celebration where we rented Lakeshore Hall in Taguig, which clearly shows how much the Lord has blessed the church.
The same year as the church's 80th anniversary, the church faced uncharted waters once again. The church gave birth not only to one, but two mission works. It is also the first time we had an opportunity to reach one of the more remote places in Infanta Pangasinan, which was led by Pastor Aldrich Pasha. Meanwhile, Pastor Milo Leonida led another mission work in Looc, Calamba. The church continued to support these mission works, and the Lord has blessed them so much.
However, this 2020, the world was stopped in its tracks.
A virus known as COVID-19 has entered the globe and discontinued mass gatherings, including our church services.
It may seem that the virus stopped the church, but just as Jesus said in Matthew 16:18, "Upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it."
The Lord has online platforms to continue church services as well as fellowship opportunities to continue to bind the church as one family.
It also opened new ministries that continue to edify believers and proclaim the gospel to the lost.
Amidst the storm of life, the church stood its ground.
The pandemic wasn't able to prevail against it.
The hand of God has been on the church.
He has worked wonders so that all may know that there is none like him.
The truth of it has been clearly seen in our church.
20 years of God's grace, God's faithfulness.
We will never forget. We will remember.